Hi, and welcome to your latest edition of Building Relationships, where I am your relationship and development life coach, Jennifer Suggs. And thank you so much for tuning in. And I'm not going to take too much of your time. I'm not really a flashy person, but I'm very authentic and I'm very passionate about teaching and giving you some things that I really believe that could help. So let's go ahead and jump into our lesson for today. Now, today I'm going to talk about the importance of hearing and then speaking. Earlier this part of the week, I put up a post that said, what are you speaking over your life today? Whether it be over your children, whether it be over your relationships, whether it be over yourself. The things that you say are very important, but I want to back it up for just a moment. Hearing first is very important. Then you speak. I want to be able to connect those two things for you today, hearing and then speaking. Now, in the Bible, it talks about how faith comes by hearing and hearing by the word of God. Now, if you're going to speak the word of God over your life or over your children, and you want it to come forth in power and you want it to be able to create things in your life, you have got to hear the word of God first. You've got to be able to hear some words of empowerment, some words of power, some words of motivation, some words of inspiration. You've got to hear some words of life first, so it will feed your spirit first, and then you speak. Speaking out of things that you're just thinking and contemplating, that's fine, but when you really want to create things in your life, you want to hear first and then speak. God has a way of being able to feed us his word if we're studying it, and sometimes when we're in meditation and we're praying, he gets to download his message within us. So some things that we could forget or things that are going over our head every single day, when we take that time to meditate and to really get down deep within ourselves and to really hone in on our core, and we allow our intuition to kick up, or we allow the word of God or his voice to speak to us, or our subconscious to really speak to us, then when you hear those things, then you're starting to walk in power, or then you're beginning to figure out those things that are authentic for you. So first things first, hearing and then speaking. But I also want to parallel this when it comes to relationships. A lot of times, there's this famous saying that says, we don't really listen, we don't really listen to be able to respond. We listen so that we can defend ourselves or just reply. Now, hearing, when it comes to your spouse or when it comes to relationships that are important to you, such as your children or parents or just friends, it is so important for you to listen, and not only listen, but to hear the heart of the person that's speaking to you. You can't really speak until you've heard what they're saying. And as a relationship coach, I always teach that when you are so concerned about getting your side out, then guess what? I'm fighting for myself and he's fighting for himself. I'm fighting to be heard and he's fighting to be heard. At some point, we've got to meet each other somewhere in the middle. So I have to put myself aside, and this is a place of empowerment for you, because you can choose to do these things and really begin to shift your relationship. You can choose to back off and actually hear what your partner is saying, not just in his words, but hear his heart, hear what he's afraid of, hear what he's actually been contemplating, hear how he thinks, hear what he is maybe timid to share with you, hear what his heart and perspective is trying to tell you before you speak. I can't tell you how important it is to listen first. Same thing with children, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a parent. It is so important that, sometimes we can get caught up with looking at the behavior of our spouse or looking at the behavior of our children, and we can begin to speak and try to really combat their behavior. But did you take the time to listen? Not just listen to the ranting and raving of your spouse or your children or anything like that, but really listen to see what is going on. Not to mention, you can listen with your intuition. You can be so present in the moment that it's just not your mind there, but it's your heart and your soul that's there as well. So that when things are happening, you can hear beyond the words. Listen first, and then you speak. And I guarantee you, your speaking will be correct and empower and in line with the results you wish to have in your relationship with your spouse or in your relationship with your children. That is how you become successful at speaking. Number one, speaking the word over your life after you've heard it from God within your soul, within your spirit, or when you're reading it. Or number two, being able to listen to the people that you love and then speak. So I have this particular quote that I wrote down the earlier part of this week that I want to share with you. And it says, hearing something you don't like does not mean someone is attacking you, nor does it demand that you have a defensive response in return. No matter what you hear, it does not mean you have to respond, because the important thing is that you're listening and that you're bringing in new information that you can use to shape what you're going to say. Now, we're going to continue that this week, because when we speak, we want it to be words of healing, words of encouragement, words that actually fix and resolve relationships or fix and resolve the schisms within our relationships. And we want to make sure that our speaking is in line with that kind of power and healing. But for today, I am done. I am done for today. If you want to, you can always email me at powerfulliving@aol.com. You can visit my website at www.powerfulliving.com. And it's always 3 L's in the middle. Powerful, Full, and then living. All right. So if you want to, I'll post this on my Facebook wall and you can message me there. And if you would love to have some life coaching, I can talk to you one-on-one and we can go from there. Well, all right. That's my time. You guys be blessed. All right. Bye-bye.